Hey there, welcome back. Now let's talk invoicing. We all know that it's important to have the right information when we're invoicing so that you can get paid correctly. But with ABC, there's three specific areas I want to cover today, just to make sure we're all on track and everything is consistent across the board for the entire team. Okay, first of all is how your invoice is titled. Second of all, of course, is the information within the invoice. And then number three is how your invoices are submitted to ABC. And now we require that to happen in two different ways. So stay tuned for that. Okay, title. This is, if you see up here where my cursor is, you'll see that this is how your invoices should be titled all the time. Your first name, last initial, the meeting that you're covering, the date of the meeting, invoice, so we can differentiate that. Please do include INV, and then your invoice number. If you're proofing, you're going to add PRF. And there's a lot of reasons why this sequence is important. For those of you who must know, when all of your invoices are in a folder, they're all alphabetical. So I can pull all of Paula's, all of Claire's, all of Letty's, all at the same time. I can see them all at once. I can do a search by meeting. I can do a search by the meeting date. And then for when we're going to pay, it's very helpful to be able to differentiate between our proofers and our transcriptionists. So our transcriptionist is going to have the PRF on that, but the PRF will be on when we have someone who's proofing, so I can immediately know that there is a person that transcribed it, and then we also had a proofer for that particular meeting or that particular set of minutes. Okay, what's in your invoice? Also very important. You're going to have your name and your company. Do let us know if you prefer your payment to go specifically to your name, if you're a sole proprietorship, or if you have a company, an LLC, and you want checks or payments made directly to that name for tax purposes, just let us know. And then, of course, your contact information. If you have a email that you prefer communications to go to, that should be listed here. The different one that's down here, I'll talk about in a minute. Okay, Bill 2, ABC Transcription Services, LLC is the name of our company, so that should be on your invoice. This is my contact information or our contact information. Invoice number, okay, this should match the invoice number that's in your title. And if you're like me, I use a boilerplate. I take my previous invoice, I change the pertinent information, and then I resend. So make yourself a little checklist to ensure that your invoice number has been changed, first of all, and then also that the one on the invoice is the same that's reflected in the title. Super important, takes lots of time to try to reconcile invoice numbers that aren't matching or that don't match the meeting, et cetera, et cetera. The invoice date, this is the date that you submit the invoice to ABC. Some of our transcriptionists do a payment due, some do not. Doesn't matter either way. Generally, it's 30 to 45 business days, as you know, for our contracts. But that's fine. Just put that in there if you like. This particular invoice has the amount due called out above as well as below. Doesn't matter to me. You can have it either way. The next batch of important information comes with this blue line here. So the date submitted, this is the date that you submitted the meeting minutes to ABC on Trello. The meeting and meeting date, again, this is a proof, so they called it out right at the beginning. We want the proofer right here, indicating that. Then, of course, the meeting and the meeting date. One special note about meeting dates. When our clients load audio files into Dropbox, a lot of times the meeting shown on the audio file, that date is totally different than the meeting date. And the reason that is because when they are modifying it, maybe taking it from a video to an audio format, that's what changes the date to the date that file was modified. So please be sure that you're reflecting the meeting date and not just the date that's on the audio. Double check that. Audio hours, we do require that this be in audio hours, not in minutes format. Again, because of our processes and how we bill, how we track things, we want it in audio hours, and it's super easy to calculate that. For instance, this meeting is 1 hour and 35 minutes, give or take. We do round up for our minutes, on the half. But to calculate the minutes into hours, you just take 35 divided by 60, and that is 5.58333 to infinity. So we just round up. So 1.58 is what that would be. If your meeting is 1 hour and 30 minutes, it's 1.5. If it's 1 hour and 45 minutes, 1.75. You get the idea. But all of these should be in audio hours. Okay, the rate is per audio hour, so you're just going to include that. Whether you're a proofer or a transcriptionist, all of that's going to depend on what you're doing, how long you've been with us, etc. Just include that. And then, of course, the amount due is, as you begin doing your invoices, I would recommend using maybe an Excel format. There's a lot of templates out there, so it just automatically will calculate this for you rather than calculating every time. Trust me, it will save you years in your life. Okay. And then, of course, the totals, the amount due, etc. So the last thing, this payment method, preferred payment method is super helpful for us. Even if you've been transcribing with us for a long time, banking things change. People change banks, technology is improved and people like to change things out. So our international transcriptionists and team members, they are, we use Remitly, we use PayPal, we use SendWave. There's a lot of different ones out there. Zelle has been great, but it's not always international. But having that preferred method here on your invoice saves us a lot of time in researching. Had they changed the email? They sent us an email, said it was different. They said something in Slack that was different. Just put it on your invoice so we can pay you quickly. Just saves us a lot of research time. So that's what the information on your invoice should look like. Then lastly is submitting the invoice. As you know or will become familiar, we have you attach your invoice to your assignment card on Trello. When you submit the meeting, it's just going to be an attachment there. But we also are asking you to add it to this outstanding ABC folder, this outstanding ABC team invoices. You'll receive a link if you haven't already with your name on it so that you can just add your invoice to this folder. And that just helps us, again, with a lot less tracking. We're making sure that we're clear with how things are tracked, especially for our clients. So that is invoicing. Reach out with any questions you might have. Appreciate your time and look forward to catching you on the next one.